Breaking news, football fans. The NFL landscape is shifting once again. Just in, Tyreek Hill to the Cowboys? Shannon Sharpe says Jerry Jones just changed the NFL. Football fans, strap in, because we've got a potentially seismic story developing that could completely reshape the dynamics of the NFL heading into next season. The rumor mill is spinning out of control this week, and at the center of it is none other than Tyreek "Cheetah" Hill, the Miami Dolphins' electric wide receiver, one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the entire league. Known for his blazing speed, sharp route running, and game-breaking ability, Hill has been the cornerstone of the Dolphins' high-octane offense ever since being traded from the Kansas City Chiefs in 2022. But now, just a few short seasons later, the chatter around his future in Miami has turned uncertain. Following a disappointing playoff run and ongoing contract and cap space complications, insiders are suggesting that Hill might be on the move again. And where could he possibly end up? The unlikeliest of places, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, Tyreek Hill, wearing the silver and blue, catching bombs from Dak Prescott, lining up opposite CeeDee Lamb? That might sound like Madden fantasy football, but with everything that's coming out this week, it's a scenario gaining real traction. The speculation caught fire after a cryptic social media exchange between Cowboys defensive superstar Micah Parsons and Hill. Parsons, never one to shy away from stirring things up online, tweeted out directly to Tyreek saying, "At Cheetah we can be the fastest duo in the league. We also don't have state income taxes." That tweet alone sent NFL Twitter into a frenzy. Is it just friendly banter? Or is Parsons doing some back-channel recruiting on behalf of Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office? We've seen this kind of subtle player-to-player recruiting before, especially in the NBA, and it looks like the NFL is fully embracing it now too. Fans and analysts immediately began digging deeper, and that's where the real drama begins. According to multiple reports, including whispers from league insiders, there have been rumblings that the Dolphins are not opposed to the idea of fielding trade offers for Tyreek Hill, especially considering the massive cap hit coming in the next 2 years. Hill's contract is set to balloon to nearly $52 million in 2026. That's a staggering figure, even for a player of his caliber. The Dolphins could restructure his deal, sure, but they're also facing the reality of needing to extend quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and bolster their offensive line. Financially, things are tight in South Florida. On the flip side, the Dallas Cowboys are entering the offseason with a sense of urgency. After yet another playoff disappointment and mounting pressure on head coach Mike McCarthy and quarterback Dak Prescott, the front office knows they have to make a splash. Jerry Jones, the ever-ambitious and attention-grabbing owner, is no stranger to blockbuster moves. He's made it clear time and time again that he wants another Super Bowl ring, and he wants it now. Jones famously said, "I'll do whatever it takes to win. Anything." Well, if there's ever a move that screams win now, it's trading for Tyreek Hill. Imagine the possibilities pairing Hill's speed with CeeDee Lamb's route running and physicality. Putting both on the field at the same time would instantly give Dallas the most lethal wide receiver duo in the NFL. Defensive coordinators would be losing sleep every week trying to game plan for that offense. And let's not forget Tony Pollard in the backfield and Jake Ferguson at tight end. This would be an absolute nightmare for opposing defenses. But let's take a moment and address the comments from none other than Hall of Famer and sports analyst Shannon Sharpe, who didn't hold back when discussing the potential of Hill joining the Cowboys. On his podcast, Sharpe said, "Jerry Jones just changed the NFL. If he pulls this off, he's going to make other owners rethink how they're building their teams." That's a bold claim, but when you really think about it, it holds some truth. For years, teams have been hesitant to stack too much offensive talent due to salary cap constraints and locker room dynamics. But if Jones goes all in and manages to fit Hill under the cap while also keeping the core of his team intact, it could signal a new era of aggressive team building in the NFL. A kind of super team mentality that mirrors what we've seen in the NBA for years. Sharpe has also been a longtime critic of Jones, often calling out the culture in Dallas and questioning whether Jones' involvement as GM does more harm than good. In one clip circulating online, Sharpe says, "The Cowboys have a culture problem, and that starts with Jerry Jones. He wants credit more than he wants championships." But this time, Sharpe seems to be acknowledging that Jones might finally be putting his money and reputation where his mouth is. This isn't just about making a splash, it's about finally building a team that can get over the hump and compete at the highest level. And what would this mean for Tyreek Hill? Well, let's consider Hill's perspective for a moment. He's made it clear in interviews that he wants to win. He's been to a Super Bowl, he knows what it takes, and now that he's in the second half of his career, the clock is ticking. Miami has the talent but hasn't put it all together consistently. If Hill were to land in Dallas, he'd join a team with a top 5 defense, an experienced QB, and a massive fanbase that treats every Sunday like a playoff game. And let's not ignore the Texas factor: no state income tax, high media exposure, and a chance to play in at Stadium every week. It's a move that makes sense on a lot of levels. Of course, there are hurdles. The cap gymnastics required to make this happen would be complex. The Cowboys would need to restructure several contracts, possibly move off some veterans, and get creative with guarantees and bonuses. But Jones has done it before. Remember when he made the move for Amari Cooper? Or more recently, Brandon Cooks? This wouldn't be uncharted territory for Dallas, just the next step in a familiar playbook. It's also worth noting the ripple effects across the league. If Dallas pulls this off, other teams in the NFC are going to have to respond. Philadelphia, San Francisco, Detroit, they'll all be watching this closely. It could trigger a domino effect of big-name trades and aggressive offseason moves as contenders try to keep pace. We might even see more teams go all in earlier than usual, abandoning the slow build model in favor of short-term dominance. This could be a culture shift, not just for Dallas, but for how modern NFL teams think about roster construction. Now, to all the Cowboys fans out there, yes, we know, you've heard this before. Big names, big headlines, and then a big letdown. But something feels different this time. The tone out of Dallas is more urgent. The comments from players like Parsons suggest a renewed sense of belief and ambition. The front office has been more transparent about wanting to compete immediately. And with the NFC wide open, the opportunity is there for the taking. Could this be the year that Dallas finally puts it all together? That's the dream. And with a player like Tyreek Hill, that dream might just get a little more real. Whether or not this deal goes through, the mere discussion of it has already ignited one of the most exciting offseasons we've seen in years. So here's the bottom line: Tyreek Hill to the Cowboys isn't just a trade rumor. It's a storyline filled with ambition, risk, legacy, and the hunger for greatness. It's about a player who wants to win, a team that needs to win, and an owner who's willing to shake the entire league to make it happen. Stay locked in, folks, because this is only the beginning. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Jerry Jones has what it takes to pull off the biggest trade of the offseason? Would Tyreek make the Cowboys Super Bowl favorites? And if not Dallas, where would you like to see the Cheetah run next? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more NFL breaking news, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. This is your host, and we'll see you next time with more on the biggest storylines shaking up the league.